Sunshine, wild ones. It's Bernadette. I can't even get through the intro without laughing. It's Bernadette. And I'm here with your pick a card tarot reading for Monday, February 22nd, 2021. Note the 22, that's an angel number, a repeating number, and goodness knows I'm going to need angels with me today because as you saw by the thumbnail, this video, the spirit totem and power animal that came this morning, is all about sacred sexuality. Now, not in any of the traditional meanings, not in anybody else's book, not in anybody, I haven't seen anybody else refer to the Blue Heron in terms of sacred sexuality, but I did ask, in fairness, I did ask the animal spirit guides to, deliver through me more expansive ways of looking at the spirit animals, hoping to help you guys understand that it is not one symbolism and meaning, size fits all, that we live in a different day and age when a lot of these symbols and meanings were, thought of and the myths were thought of and so on and so forth. And so this is a very serious subject, right? But not serious like, austere serious. It's serious like there's so much drama that surrounds the subject of sex that I just really feel like if people didn't have the conditioning that they have about it and the shame that surrounds it and the secrecy because of, potentially being shamed or, whatever, we just really have a much better society here and in a lot of other places. And I have been to places where, naked bodies and the subject of sex and whatever, it's just natural. And they embrace it because it's natural. Because guess what? It is. So without further ado, let me just tell you, the most unlikely animal ally that's bringing to you today, sacred sexuality. How do you feel about that, Blue Heron? And Blue Heron told me. So a couple of things that, let me tell you how I got there. Okay. Meaning when I open my awareness, I serve at the pleasure of spirit. That's it. And I have made an agreement with spirit many, many years ago. I will not filter what comes through me. I just don't do it. I don't think it's ethical, so I don't do it. And because of that, spirit shows up for me in always and in very, very accurate ways, always. So I'm placing a lot of trust in spirit today, as I always do. Although this is such a touchy subject. I'm like, okay, I'm not talking to you till tomorrow morning when I do the next reading, right? So here's how this shook out. And here's why I'm wearing this jacket. Well, first of all, it has it's very Asian in its thing, and it's got the cranes that dance, and I think you could maybe see the back of it if I can switch around, long enough. I'm sure that was very attractive. But so I put it on for the extra energy because I have to be honest, I almost didn't believe what came through this morning. Here's how it shook out. So herons, just like the dancing cranes, they do these elaborate courting rituals, these dances. And then, of course, I had every dance song playing in my head, Garth Brooks, and all the way to, Fred Astaire and everywhere, everywhere. But my awareness landed on Michael Jackson. And then when I was like, oh, well, let me go get my heron, my crane jacket, I put it on. And all of a sudden, all I heard was dun 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 dun. No, that's the wrong song. It was the Thriller song, and I'm like doing this in my bedroom, and my cats are looking at me like I'm a nut. And then I kept hearing. Oh Lordy! I kept hearing, what is that? Oh, Vincent Price. I kept hearing Vincent Price's voice, because no mere mortal can resist the evil of the Thriller. Right? That's all I could hear. So now I'm sitting there going, well, why am I hearing this about, this and that? And, why am I hearing, no mortal can resist the evil of the Thriller? That's got kind of some dark connotations. And then literally this heron just looked at me and went, you're not getting it. I was like, clearly not. So here's what that led me to. Kooky as this sounds, y'all, stay with me. This is where it led me to. What it led me to is, for anyone out there who has lost the spice, the romance, in their relationship, it's not about the evil of the thriller. It's about you getting over what you think is going to make you look too sexual, too trampy, too, needy, too whatever. And bring some of that back into your romance, back into your love life. And it's you. Now, we have partners, right? But even if you don't, listen, I'm just going to say it, triple Scorpio, this is what I'm being told to say. You got a sexual relationship with yourself, potentially physically also, but mentally and emotionally, right? Mind, body, spirit. If you're even if you're with another person, it's your sexuality, it's your body, it's your mind, it's your spirit. So again, separate from your partner, you may have a very healthy sex life with yourself. I'm sure you know what I'm saying. I can't say the word. I don't want to get banned from YouTube. Okay. So, and if you're single, you might have that as well, right? Okay. The word that I can't starts with an M. Okay. So you got to take a look at that. And if there's any shame around that, or there's any not allowing yourself to be free, express yourself freely in that way, today's the day to use Blue Heron energy to do that, because it's a dance that you do with yourself. It's a dance that you do with a partner. Now, here's the great news of this. So I didn't even know this until I'm y'all, I probably put 2 hours into researching all this morning because, probably 45 minutes. Let me not use hyperbole. But because I just was so mystified at all the things that were coming in, and yet I knew that it was right. And I was like, okay, you gotta explain. This is such a charged subject and a deeply personal subject. I gotta be really clear on this. So one of the things that I was told, and then I looked it up, and I was like, oh my gosh, blue herons male, female look exactly like one another. The only way you can kind of sort of tell them apart is that the male might be slightly larger than the female. That's it. Are you kidding me? That's like soulmate, twin soul, twin flame. It's a twin. And that also means yourself, okay? To be to look in a mirror and see you reflected back at you is, oh my gosh, what can you heal about yourself? What can you learn about yourself? What can you learn about, how to be in deeper relationship in your relationship in a more sexual kind of way? And that includes the romance and the, slap and tickle a little bit. Not literally slap, okay, don't please, that's not what I mean, unless that's your thing. And, more power to you, right? But that's an older phrase from an older time, the slap and tickle. That's from the 40s. Okay, so it really is asking you to do the dance with your twin soul, your soulmate, maybe even your twin flame. Now, twin flames are called that for a reason, because as amazing as it can be, eventually that is just going to go and it's going to go up in flames and fall back down to the earth, and then you're going to rise again as the phoenix, which, by the way, is associated with the blue heron. Okay, so here's the other thing. When I take a look at the cards that come and the animals that come, I'm always very interested in the mythology that goes behind them. And Aphrodite, the Greek goddess Aphrodite, because I'm a mythology junkie, I always have been. And Aphrodite is very associated with herons. And that is the goddess of what? Of sex, of love, of, all things romantic. And she, she's also the goddess of lust, right? Okay, but here's the, she had no, oh God, to be can I just put it out there? One day I aspire to be the embodiment of the goddess Aphrodite, because her sole purpose for being was to make love. Literally, that was her only, she has one job. Okay, so here's what's not cool about Aphrodite, though. And that is, she had a magic girdle. Now, that's cool. I would love a magic girdle. That would be so awesome in a million different ways. But she used that magic girdle really not okay. She used that magic girdle to it would make the wearer of the magic girdle the object of desire for anybody who saw her. And so that's okay, except for that is putting her will on someone else. That's not okay. And that's talked about a lot in the Wiccan and, well, not the Wiccan community, but the witch community. And just know they're different. Okay, Wicca, not all witches follow Wiccan pagan paths. Not all pagans follow the Wiccan path and identify with witchcraft, and not all, you get it. They're three completely separate communities, blended in a lot of ways, but completely separate communities. But in the witchcraft realms, spell casting, that's just a big fat no-no. When you're trying to, cast a spell over someone else to make them do your will, that'll backfire on you every damn time. So don't do it, okay? But it's the same when we are trying to be when Aphrodite put on her little magic girdle, I want to make sure I have this right. It caused her fellow Olympians, the gods and the goddesses, to fall in love with mortals. That just never went well. That just never went well in mythology. And again, that's about casting your will on someone else. They didn't ask for it. It probably didn't end well. And a lot of that is just such a lesson that trying to manipulate other people, especially in terms of sacred sexuality, that very sacred physical thing, when you meld with someone, when you do the dance, right? When you do the Heron dance, there are just so many games that go on with it. There's so much like manipulation, and there's so much passive. Oh my gosh, passive aggressive. Okay, listen, animals are not passive aggressive, y'all. They're going to do what they do because it's natural. They make no apologies for it. And in terms of what we're talking about today, I would really encourage you to sit with Blue Heron and think, am I not getting what I want because I'm being passive aggressive, or there's shame in it, or I'm not doing the dance, or I'm this? And likewise, is someone trying to do that to me and it's making me uncomfortable because of all of the same reasons? And do I even want to be in relationship with this other person or people? If you're in a polyamorous relationship or open relationship or whatever, then just take a look at like how the dance is being done by everybody that's showing up to the dance. Let me just put it that way. That's going to be a lot easier. So when you don't put on a magic girdle, okay, just so like, all right, Spirit, I think we've got it across, right? Get rid of the shame. Get rid of the conditioning. Get rid of whatever, because again, sex always goes back to creation, always. And that's what makes it so powerfully charged, is that at our core, we know that the act of sex, take the romance and the, all that out of it. Let's just go straight up what it is. That's about keeping our species alive. That's a big deal. Now, God knows there's more of us on this planet than, hopefully the planet doesn't start to sink. But that just because we know that intrinsically in our spirit, we may not consciously think of it that way, but we know it. So that's going to set up issues. And then we're so conditioned by society, that's going to set up issues. And today is the day, because, listen, today is root chakra day, right? And today is also, Monday is governed by the planet, the moon, or, by the moon. So now we're talking about the emotions of all of this. And it's a thing, like it's a big deal. Now, it may not be a big deal for you, but it might be a deal. But today is the day. I'm going to go back to it again. To wrap this up, don't put on a magic girdle, okay? Take a look at how your sacred sexuality is working for you in whatever kind of relationship you're in. And that means a relationship with another person, other people, or with yourself. And see those areas that maybe you could dance a little, freer, or free your own sacred sexuality to get finally where you want to be. You know, guys, listen, I am, guys, gals, when I say that, you understand. I'm not, you understand. It's a euphemism. That's it. I'm going to start saying wild ones. Okay, so listen, wild ones, this is the thing. At this point, I've done over 65,000 readings. 65,000. And if I had a nickel for every, it's usually women, I would say 98% of it is women, that they show up and they think they're showing up to a reading for a certain reason. It's all boiled down to they're not getting what they need and they want physically. And that's for any variety of reasons. But that one core thing is like a stick of dynamite, man. It's like a mine. It just, once that's uncovered in their reading by spirit, it's a brand new day for them. It's just a brand new day because now they get it from a deeper kind of place. Okay, so your key takeaways from today are: don't wear a magic girdle, do good for animals, and if you haven't always, now is a very good time to start doing what? Staying wild.